Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to review and approve minutes, which we do not have any. Second item on the agenda is to sign bills.
I have one bill for the community advocate.
Right now, so continue.
Yeah. All right, the following meetings and hearings, the following meetings have been continued to our August
19th.
19th meeting. Continued public hearing filed by 160 Holden Street, GFI Partners, 133 Pearl Street, Suite 300, Boston, for installation of a sewer line and associated sedimentation controls. That meeting has been continued.
Withdrawn.
Withdrawn, okay. The next meeting is the continued public hearing filed by the Town of Shrewsbury, 100 Maple Ave, for the construction of a walking path and stormwater infrastructure with Jordan Pond Road at 32 Ridgeland Road. That has been continued to August 19th. We have a continued public hearing regarding the notice of intent by Juan Mendez on behalf of Alpha Capital, 23 Whitaker Lane, Princeton, Mass., for the construction of a roadway extension at 56 Oregon. That has been continued. And we have a continued public hearing regarding the abbreviated notice resource area delineation by Sarah Foley, 236 Cross Street, Norwell, Mass., for the delineation of bordering vegetated wetlands and intermittent stream at 39 and 65 Gold Street. That has been continued to August 19th. And this hearing has been, this new public hearing regarding the to amend the order of condition by Prestige Property Development, 13 Presidential Right, Southborough, for the construction of a common drive and single-family home at 29 Hill Street. That has been withdrawn. Okay. On to the RDA.
We have notice is hereby given in accordance with the provisions of General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, in the Town of Shrewsbury Wetlands Bylaw and Regulations, that Kevin Esposito, on behalf of the Town of Shrewsbury Parks Department, 100 Maple Avenue, Shrewsbury, has filed a request for determination of applicability for the removal of a tree at 32 Ridgeland Road or Jordan Pond.
So I'm Kevin Esposito from the Shrewsbury Parks and Cemetery Department. As you can see, we had that tree that broke and fell in, and while the turtles are loving it, so are other people who are climbing out and fishing off of it. So what we would be looking to do is either remove the whole thing or trim it up to leave some habitat there, but also not tangling hazards for fishing line and lures and stuff like that, and not have people, of course, fall off of it into the water. So.
Right. Emily?
I do not have any questions.
Diane?
No, I mean, I agree with it is incredible turtle habitat. I just have a question. How would you cut to make sure that excess branches were not there and people couldn't get from the stump out to other places?
Well, I would work with Aaliyah on that, and we would, as we go, determine what should stay and what should be cut out. And you know, we're on the same page as far as hopefully leaving some of it there and, you know, giving the turtles a place. So.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Bobby?
The only question I have is, I mean, it's a public safety thing. It's also noticed down here, it's actually causing no flow down here. Causing a lot of weeds and stuff and algae growing around that tree down there, because it's, and you have that culvert just after that's actually stopping the water from coming out of there. So I agree with taking most of the tree out of here if you want to leave it, but public safety wise, we don't want someone to fall in and get hurt either, and then we're gonna be wondering why we didn't take it out, so.
Yeah, I agree. No other questions?
Yeah, I would say, just as you discussed, take out as much as you can safely and trim it up and work with Aaliyah and come up with a plan to, you know, to make it look right and make it so people can't get hurt or get their fishing gear stuck or fall off, get tangled in the branches, and then also provide a little bit of habitat. Do you have any questions, Aaliyah?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak to the kind of the proposal for trimming that we had come up with. We were basically gonna clean up the stump, maybe clean cut it so that it's not this warped thing. And then, yeah, probably the majority of the branches to be removed would be on the culvert side, so that, because that seems to be where folks would mostly be fishing off of. You can see there's a really nice, like, main stem where the turtles tend to hang out. So that would be a really good one to leave, because if humans are navigating onto that, they can do it a little more safely. It is large enough. And then without extra branches there, it'll be a little bit easier. And then obviously the turtles can continue to enjoy the space that is created from that. Yeah.
And I guess it could be a work in progress too, because it is an idea and you do have time, so you could go back and revisit it if needed, correct?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, especially if the water is, if there's any period where the water might be lower without any rain, it would be better to get it then.
Any other questions from the audience? Any other questions from the commission?
No, I'd like to make a motion
Sure.
that we issue a negative determination with respect to this request.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. They're all set.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Be gone by morning.
All right, we have a new public hearing.
Notice is hereby given in accordance with the provisions of General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Shrewsbury Wetland Bylaw and Regulations. Prestige Property Development, 13 Presidential Drive, Southborough, Mass. has filed a notice of intent to construct a common driveway and 3 single-family homes at 29 Hill Street.
Hi, Mr. Chairman. I'm James Tatro from Expedited Engineering, here with Iman Abdeljaber from Prestige Property Development. At your last hearing, we had filed a request to amend the earlier order of conditions under file 285-1934. And subsequent to leaving the meeting, we got correspondence from DEP that said they thought it was more appropriate that a new notice of intent be filed than that it be dealt with simply as amending the old order, because we were recognizing alteration at the backyards of lots 2 and 3 just into the riverfront area, where the previous filing actually wasn't really looking at the activities on those lots. So we filed a new notice of intent with you, and actually, Aaliyah, I have to ask if we need to officially process the request for a certificate of compliance from the earlier order first before this, or?
Drawn, right?
In the event that this hearing is closed this evening, we will scooch the certificate of, because they'll both be.
Okay, I just don't want to be
Yeah, at the end. No, yeah, exactly.
out of
yeah.
order sort of procedurally.
Yeah, no, yeah, we've had a couple of those come up. So we'll scooch the certificate of compliance to the before the issuance of an order of conditions in the event that this hearing is closed.
Okay.
So we basically refiled the same materials as we had filed with you for the request to amend the order of conditions, with one vital change, which was that at the meeting, the clear sentiment of the board was that we needed to do an invasive species management plan to deal with the Japanese knotweed that had been seen on site. And we actually also alerted the folks at Goddard, Andrew Tebow, who investigated the site and created the invasive species management plan, that there was discussion that there may be Phragmites in the wetland there. He said he looked and didn't see it. I don't know if it was, what is the other thing, American Reed, which is, looks like it, but is not, I don't know if he thought that's what it was. At any rate, he said he did not think there was Phragmites in there, but he identified quite a bit of Japanese knotweed, really through, and I blew up one page, the last page of his report, just to show you, it was in the area, really from the front of the site, you've got it kind of marked in the gold here, for the first about 150 or so feet off the road. And what he calls for is a plan of actually injecting the herbicide in the larger diameter plants. If Japanese knotweed is kind of a hollow, I know this because I just macheted a whole bunch of it at our office to try and get around these trees and things that was choking out. But Japanese knotweed is a hollow tube plant. And what his proposal is to do is to actually inject herbicide in the larger ones. And yes, do some spraying. I know the DEP file assignment number worried about spraying and hitting other things with it. But he was specifically looking out to try and avoid that, again, by injecting on any of the larger plants. And then following through on a pattern of monitoring and removal. And this page that I blew up from near the end of his report was about plantings he suggested in there. I'll just read off quickly. Some of them was low bush blueberry, sweet pepper bush, high bush blueberry, red maple, red oak, white oak, silky dogwood, all throughout the area that he said had been infested by the Japanese knotweed. And so that is the biggest change. Again, the site plans that we filed with the notice of intent were the same site plans we had before you when we were discussing this action being done as an amendment to the order of conditions. So that did not change. But what changed is the addition of the invasive species management plan and dealing with that issue on site. Now, we have actually a file assignment from DEP. Brianna Weigel was good enough to do this. I think it helped that she had already looked at the plans in the course of looking at what was filed on the request to amend. So we have a file number 285-2028. And in addition to properly worrying about, overspraying of herbicide, she suggests in her assignment, additionally, the commission may consider including conditions in the order that require at least a 2-year monitoring period and steps to ensure the proposed invasive species removal is successful. And she suggests may wish to include a condition that, a special condition stating that total alteration for all subdivided lots shall not exceed the riverfront area alteration thresholds. So I'll leave it at that. Again, I think in the big picture, it was the same plan as you looked at before with the addition of the invasive species management plan in response to the concerns that you folks aired last month. But I'll try and take any questions.
Emily?
I do not have any additional questions related to this.
Diane?
Nor do I.
No questions, just thank you for taking care of that
Yeah,
invasive
thank you.
species. Thank you.
With regard to the riverfront, what's changed from the original filing?
Well,
to
the
what we're
original
doing?
order actually interestingly had, I'm gonna flip over, had houses shown on lots 2 and 3 actually closer to the riverfront boundary than are these houses shown. But I think the original filing was somehow just trying to address the common driveway construction. And so in a way, we were asking for an amendment, which was really sort of going to be a superset of the previous set of things that had been ruled on. And I think we were actually, in multiple ways, doing a better job. We're having less impervious cover, I think a better infiltration, pulling back over here. It just was not really acknowledged in the previous filing exactly what yard work was going to be done on lots 2 and 3. And so we were necessarily showing more than they were. And so DP, I think, is right to say, this isn't really the way to handle it. In retrospect, I was pretty happy. I thought we were producing a better plan in multiple ways. But they're right. There was an impact, specifically a bit of alteration, I think about, 3% in the riverfront that was not officially part of the previous filing.
So with the elevations of this grading, you're above the riverfront area. You're above the, way above, correct?
Correct, but the thing is, all of this slope goes this way. So this, whatever is done in the backyard here, which just intrudes into the riverfront area here, isn't actually going to here, it's going this way, where we've got erosion control barrier and we're actually pulling back the work. And it's really kind of the same thing here. It's a little hard to tell at the very top of this plateau exactly where, any raindrop's gonna go, but yeah, it is, we are quite a bit above, Rawson Brook over here and the unnamed stream over here. But it really is, the drainage is really flowing west to east.
And what is the total impact on the riverfront area?
Oh,
Do
shoot.
you have that?
Oh, yes, I do. Let me just get it. I think it was 3 and change percent. 3.1%. I see it on the key sheet notes.
Is that for all 3 lots?
Yes, that's total. Yeah, because there's none on lot 1.
Okay. Chris?
No additional questions.
Aaliyah?
Is that accounted for in the NOI as provided?
Yes.
Okay, in the
Yeah.
square feet that it's.
I think what Aaliyah may be alluding to is in the file assignment, Brianna Weigel says, oh, you should modify, I think she was talking about the work for the invasive species management plan. She suggests, oh, you should modify your statement of impacts. I think she's saying to address that, which we
Yes, yeah.
hadn't.
Okay.
So if it was the sentiment of the commission to issue an order, we could, as part of that, send you a revised WPA Form 3, which says, hey, it's gonna be altering
this
temporarily
resource
this
area.
much.
Okay,
as part of the.
yeah, that would make sense to have those impacts included.
It's temporary because you're going to try and eradicate an invasive, and you're going to do some plantings.
Right, exactly. It is temporary, but Brianna is right. It
Yes,
was
there
not
will be-
accounted for. in
There
that.
will be impact, it will
Okay.
just be.
Yep, so it'll be documented, so we know.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
and then I was just trying to get the, additionally, the total amount in square footage of riverfront area that will be impacted, because that will also be included in the final permit.
I would have to add that, yeah, because I wasn't thinking.
Well, yeah,
of
and
the
it'll be,
3.1%.
obviously different resource areas, different resource area impacts, but, yeah, it'll account for both of the numbers will be documented within the order of conditions that is issued.
You all set?
I think that was all the questions that I had.
Any other questions from the audience?
Ma'am, it's your one chance to shine.
Sounds great to me. Thank you.
There you go.
So if there are any questions, are you okay, Aaliyah, if we close it with those conditions, or would you want to hold it?
No, I think you could close it. I would,
We
it-
need
sorry?
need to issue a certificate of compliance on the
Yes, we'll
withdrawn
issue a
one
certificate of
first.
compliance for the previous, and then I don't think I have a hard, with the exception of the knotweed management plan, I don't think I have a hard copy of all of the
Oh.
most up-to-date things. So if you could issue, yes. that
Give you
would be
11 by
great.
17 right now.
Yes, yeah, if I could have a full, I'm happy to sign off on or recommend a closing tonight, but just getting a full-sized set of the plans would be good.
I will get it to you tomorrow morning.
Perfect, wonderful. Other than that, that's my only recommendation.
Okay. All right, would somebody like to make a motion that we close this hearing?
I make a motion that we close the public hearing for DEP file number 285-2028 for 29 Hill Street.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Would somebody like to make a motion, we issue an order of conditions, since this is the only hearing that we have tonight?
Would you like to issue a certificate of compliance prior to?
There we go, we can do that.
Okay, so this will be a certificate of compliance for for 285-1934. This is for 29 Hill Street. It's a partial certificate of compliance because the work was,
Would it be an invalid order of conditions?
I plopped both on I plopped both on the certificate of compliance because Work was started, but it is now being completed.
Okay.
Yeah,
They
because
start work.
they did site clearing and then had installed erosion control barriers, so it is just far enough along that it's not nothing.
Okay, true. Yep.
Something was done.
Yes, but an invalid, so it'll be a total, partial certificate of compliance.
Sounds good.
There you go. Can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, we issue partial certificate of
And
compliance
invalid.
Mr. Chairman, what was that?
And invalid.
and invalid.
I make a motion, we issue a partial certificate of compliance and invalid for 29 Hill Street.
Second?
For 285.
I was going to say, with respect to DEP number 285-1934.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Just to be clear, I want to make sure I put the right DEP number there.
You have to say it. That's good.
Here's the determination of applicability that was signed off on. And then, now, there can be discussion about the order of conditions for 29 Hill Street.
All right, would somebody like to make a motion that, for this 29 Hill Street order?
I make a motion that we issue an order of conditions for DEP file number 285-2028, 29 Hill Street, with the conditions, what was the wording for the, deed restriction? Did they have a specific wording?
Yes, I did have a specific wording for a deed restriction related to riverfront area. Let me plop that up.
And then, any other conditions? No?
I think just related to the,
With the condition that the applicant submits, the revised materials to Aaliyah. And then one additional condition that we're waiting on wording for, related to a deed restriction. Memorializing the riverfront area alteration on each of the lots. Right,
just did it.
I guess, or just, can I say, as noted in the DEP comments?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that the riverfront area, the amount of riverfront area disturbed be memorialized in the deed, in a deed restriction.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, with regards to the plant, the invasive
Oh, and
removal,
it-
there'd be a 2-year moratorium.
2-year
2-year
monitoring, yeah.
monitoring.
In a
Yes.
condition that there is a 2-year monitoring program for the proposed invasive species management plan.
And planting of
The planting is
Oh, and
noted.
planting of
shrubs and trees.
shrubs and trees.
That's, it's
ensure-
on your plan, right?
Well,
Yes.
it is in the invasive species management plan
That's fine.
by Goddard Associates, as long as that's referenced.
Yep.
it is a
Including,
requirement.
yeah.
Yes, there will be a special condition referencing all of the documents submitted, just to kind of memorialize them.
Is there anything else? All in favor?
What, second?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Terrific. Thank you, everyone, for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you guys. Early night.
We're
Maybe,
gonna-
we'll see. We're not done yet.
We're gonna pay for it next month.
I was gonna frame them.
Okay, we signed a certificate of compliance, we're good with that.
Here's your order of conditions. I do apologize.
And, any updates?
I have no updates. I imagine Ann Zatek Sumner is here for an update for 101 North Quinsigamon Avenue. I have not heard anything from them recently. I will follow up with the building department to see what the holdup might be, because they should be submitting at this point to the building department for the construction of the side walls, as those were tall enough.
Well, yeah. Do
To
we
be
have,
walls.
like, does the building department have an online permitting system that you can see?
Yes, and they have not submitted anything to that permitting
Okay.
system.
Okay.
We've had informal discussions on site regarding the property. But yes, I have not received any revised plan sets for the property, nor have I received a building permit.
You've had a lot of blocks on the property over there, big blocks are sitting over there, like ready lock blocks.
Yes.
sitting over there.
Yeah, they scooched them down to the water's edge. The last time I was on site it was a large gathering of folks. There were representative, I think I've probably spoken to this before, but there was representatives for the applicant surveyor, engineer, and helper was on site. I was there. Miss Zatek Sumner was there. Her representative was there, and then a building human was also there, to kind of discuss what the next steps would look like. They had, at that point, installed those large blocks at the water side, but I think, again, they had installed them without any backing, so they will probably fall over again. And we had advised that maybe they should think about that.
You
prior to.
think just reaching out to the applicant would be a good idea to get
Yeah, we have,
all,
last summer, we spent the summer, trying to reach out to them, because at that point it was an enforcement matter. Then we finally issued the permit that we issued over the winter time, or no,
spring?
sorry,
Early
the
spring.
spring, when, after the drawdown had drawn up. And then I'm still struggling to get in contact with them
Well,
in a dependable fashion.
perhaps maybe just send them a reminder, email or something saying, okay, here it is, we're going to be coming into
Yeah, what
the
are we doing?
latter part of the summer, and then, you need to get going, doing some work, and,
Yeah.
drawdowns going, when
We'll
they get
be,
the
yeah,
drawdown.
we'll be
So
soon enough, so.
They need to prepare.
Do you
Yeah.
you have an email address? I
Yes.
mean, you could email, but you could also send it certified mail or something, just to make sure.
I have sent it certified mail before, that got returned to me.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, yes.
And just especially because it is in response to an enforcement matter, that there is this element of, let's get a move on this.
Yeah.
And do the work.
Yeah.
So, that's-
Yeah, it was odd during the meeting of all of those folks, the builder was not there. He's probably who we most need to talk to, because we can tell the engineer how to engineer it. The engineer knows how to engineer it. We can tell the surveyor to survey it at the end of the project, but if the builder's gonna build it so that it falls down
Differently,
again,
yeah.
it's not super helpful if I can't talk to them.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
there,
Look to arrange another
Following
site
everything
visit.
According to plan.
yeah, is there a possibility of fines again?
Yeah, we could look to start issuing fines again, because at this point, it's, there's just like, no, there are probably ongoing impacts to the resource area, and then
Right.
nothing is going on.
And we could run into a problem though with those, I know it's great to do it, but with the town building department holding up some stuff, is that gonna cause us a problem doing enforcement still, or no?
I don't believe so, because I think our departments are worried about different walls.
Right.
We're worried about the water wall. It is not tall enough to be a wall for the building department. So the building department's worried about the side walls, which are within our jurisdictional area, but are going to have less impact on us compared to the waterfront wall. So any enforcement that we issue on the waterfront wall would not necessarily have impacts on the side walls.
Okay.
All right. Okay, on to, Ann, you have anything to add?
I do, thank you very much, Ann Zedek, Sumner, 99 North Quinsigamon Ave. Thank you very much for the discussion. I do want to add a couple things. There have been some communications back and forth with the building.
Please come up to the microphone,
Oh.
so we can hear you on the broadcast. Thank you so much.
Oops.
No problem.
Sorry to keep you. It's Ann Zedek-Sumner from 99 North Quinsigamond Ave. Thank you much for the discussion that you've been having and your attention to the matter. There have been some communications I'm aware of with Alex in the building inspector's office, but I don't think that, I don't believe there are any resolutions to the questions that have been asked to the plan they submitted. My primary concern for this commission continues to be the amount of boat traffic and wave action that is continuing at the waterfront. We are in the height of the summer season, and the north end of the lake is one where there's a lot of wakeboarders and over very, very heavy wave action. And so there is no protection of my property at that point or the shared property line, and I am continuing just to voice my concern about my waterfront wall being affected by the length of time it's taking to resolve it. And then just last is that today I did note that on their wall, their waterfront wall, they have 3 rows, and on the second row, one of the blocks is already starting to, there's a big gap there, so that's already starting to move for whatever. So thank you for your help. Anything that can be done to move this along would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, on to correspondence.
Yes, so I have 2 matters of correspondence this month. The first is a letter received from an anonymous sender regarding 384 Hartford Turnpike. This was, there was concern about construction of a parking area without wetland permitting in place. It does seem that they are, sorry, let me load up my mapping system. It does seem that there were impacts pretty within 40 feet of the wetland. They have not filled the wetland, but they are obviously encroaching into buffer area without permitting. Let me share my screen. Boop. So this is this April. And then here is the previous April. So you can see the parking lot last year extended to about roughly here, rough box. The wetland is located south of here. It's here-ish. And then this summer it has got, or this spring-ish time has gotten closer to that wetland.
And the
What is the,
pavement is gravel or decomposed granite or something like that?
Yeah, it's not been paved with like asphalt or concrete, but it does seem to be obviously a functioning parking lot, and what did entail the removal of a good chunk of trees.
yeah, they did quite a bit of work back there, it seems.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the only thing we can do is just ask them to come in and just send them a letter saying, please, you're in the buffer zone and you need to file with us to get a
Yeah.
permit, to get a straightened out.
Yeah,
They probably didn't know, it's the
right.
thing that happens, but it happens.
Yep, I think that's the only thing we can do, really.
Yep.
What is that distance again?
About 40 feet, it looks like.
About
Yeah,
40 feet?
I think I'm a little, there's a tree in my way, but, boop, there we go. Let me go to April, because it's a little easier to see. Yeah, we can see
About
there's
one
a
tractor
substantial
trailer.
change in what
Yep.
was added, so.
All right, and then, okay.
Okay, so I will send a notification, a violation letter letting them know that they have constructed a parking area and removed trees within the 100-foot buffer, and that they should come talk to us about it. The second letter received was from a Shrewsbury high schooler. That I think one of their year-end projects is to kind of get involved in the community and reach out to folks who work within the community to discuss matters that could be improved. The one that was selected for this letter was for Jordan Pond. She did note that the algae that grows in the pond. Let me see if there were any other action items identified in that one.
We recommend that for a community preservation project. I don't know if there's anything that something you can add to the lake that's natural, like
Yeah, well, so also
species
this,
of animals
this lake is treated for algae. It is, Solitude Lake Management
Oh,
holds a
okay, yep.
contract with the town, so they will go out and remove any algae that is, or treat for the algae. Or they might specifically be treating for invasive species. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that.
Do you manage that contract, or who manages the Solitude contract?
That's a great question. It
They're
might be the
pretty-
Lake Quinsigamon Commission.
They're pretty responsive. If you reach out, you could just ask them, you know, what is in that treatment program, and, because I know they do, like, it'll be for a certain plant species, or yeah, maybe it's the algae
It's
in
for-
this
yeah.
case.
ask to include algae if it's
Yeah,
not,
if
yeah.
It's a lot, looking at, there's a lot down, a lot of algae and a lot of crap in that water.
Yeah, I know it is. This one especially, Jordan Pond, it sounds like historically was deeper and obviously was more occupied, was used more recreationally for humans, with the swimming beach that was associated with it. I think it has gotten shallower over the years. That is the way that wetlands like to do their thing. They are looking to update our stormwater infrastructure townwide, so I think one of the projects will entail kind of updating the stormwater infrastructure associated, because it does receive a lot of stormwater flow from a lot of everywhere north of it.
Or-
It receives a pretty substantial amount, and then obviously we're proposing, we've proposed several different projects over the course of the years to improve the pond. One of them will be the walking trail.
Right.
And then we'll be removing any leaves that are
Well,
going.
and to my earlier comment about the community preservation, she had a comment about educating people on use of fertilizers and things like that. Maybe we could spend some time on that. So one of the projects could be on education
Yeah.
for the residents.
Yeah, part of the proposal for the walking trail had been to install some educational signage. I think one of the signs had been, we'd had a couple different directions to aim those signs in. One was maybe towards the historical education of the area, and how it did seem like a community gathering spot at some point in time. And kind of how that has changed over the years with the removal of the beach area. And then obviously a sign about the species that do live there. And then maybe a sign about, how to reduce stormwater impacts and how to reduce impacts to the water bodies that surround us.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Is there anything else?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.